trestle from the EB Slough, which has a bunch of debris in it, and they're trying to protect it. Trying to go from Everett to, say, Seattle or Bellevue into Everett, we have heavy brake lights across the county line, and certainly on 405. You're going to need about an hour to go from Bellevue up to Everett and about 50 minutes from Seattle. Going the other direction, we have heavy brake lights on southbound 5 as we approach the Kent-Des Moines Road. I've been looking for a crash near 188, though. The one thing I do know is there is a person dressed in all black walking on the side of the freeway there, so watch out for that. The drive from Renton down into Puyallup is probably running you about 45 to 50 minutes at this point. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. That atmospheric river now barreling back into western Washington at this hour. Kirby Cook is with the National Weather Service in Seattle.
This round of precipitation is actually looking wetter than previously forecast, so it's going to be at least, if not wetter, than what we saw yesterday.
8 to 15 inches of rain in the mountains when it's all said and done. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports from East King County.
Early this morning, I-90 was closed after a mudslide covered half the interstate. Here, near the town of Falls City, Highway 202 was closed, the Snoqualmie River over its banks. One neighbor, Michelle, took a look for herself.
Hopefully nobody gets hurt. That's the big thing, right? 'Cause stay out of it. Don't try to drive through it.
Near Falls City, Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Well, some people did drive through standing water near Napa Vine in Lewis County. Dan Garcia works at the nearby Chevron off Rush Road.
So the underpass is flooded, so nobody can get through on one side or the other. I guess we got a truck in the ditch down the road here.
Seattle Times reporting firefighters pulled 5 people from submerged vehicles there. Seattle Mayor-elect Katie Wilson announces members of her transition team, and she's talking about what's next for the city. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has details.
On the list are some familiar names and some unknowns. Transition chairs include Karen Estvinen, Tiffany McCoy, Quinn Pham, and Brian Surratt, who will also serve as Wilson's only deputy mayor, a departure from past administrations. Mayor-elect Wilson explains why.
Brian's been around. He's got a long history at the city, deep city experience, and Brian comes very, very highly recommended by many people across the political spectrum.
In Seattle, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Google could owe you a few bucks. Washington's Attorney General says customers who use the Google Play Store may get part of a $700 million settlement. Google is accused of overcharging for apps and blocking the competition. If you bought apps on Google Play between August 2016 and September 2023, you are likely eligible. Weather now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Mostly light rain if you are seeing it right now. For a few more hours, the heavier rain starts to arrive overnight. Also going to get breezy to windy overnights, gusting upwards of 45 miles per hour. Rain will continue into Thursday, heavy at times. Right now, 52 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hi, you've reached the John Curley Show listener introduction line. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you enjoy the show. Thank you.
That sounds like a lot of work. I play pickleball sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes my sneezes sound like giggles. I'm happy to talk about whether or not I smell good or bad. I thought maybe that would be helpful.
Okay.
That's what I know.
Thank you. There's one of our listeners. Yeah, here we go.
Regular.
Yeah, regular. That's good to know. Learned a lot about him in a short period of time. And over here in this chair. Got him? Got his music? Yep, walk on. Am I playing it? Hold on. Hang on, Wash. Hang on. Am I playing or you playing
You're
it?
You're playing it.
I can't play it. You play it. I can't play
Playing
it.
out loud.
You play it. Hold on, Wash.
But he won't back down.
Yeah, your new music. You're a fighter.
New State Blues trying to drown him out.
Come on, AI. Do it, baby.
From the halls of Olympia to the party line, he's fighting the system one vote at a time. Low taxes, strong roots, parents stand tall. When common sense is cornered, he answers the call. Chairman Walsh from the fighting 19th. Jim Walsh won't let Washington fall.
Lee Greenwood bringing you. How about that, Jim
I
Walsh?
think Lee Greenwood's going to slap somebody with a cease and desist letter there.
That's our AI machine there doing it. Now, don't forget to tax that thing. By the way, before we get started, here you were last week. I give you the big introduction about the taxes that are coming. Taxes, we should be aware of the taxes. Should we be concerned? And you said, Walsh, this thing's coming up. Does it actually have a momentum? Explain where all the taxes are supposed to hit with this idea from our socialist friend.
This is DOA. It's based.
Yeah, DOA. So, Jim, you come on, I get the big build-up, and you say, oh, that's not going anywhere. And then I got to talk to you for the next 14 minutes. So don't do that on
the
these.
Bait and switch. It's the art of changing the subject I learned down in Olympia.
All right, well, let's not change it.
Also, Curly, after that news break, I got lots of questions. Like, I get very nervous when I hear about this new mayor and the transition team. I want to make sure we keep kids away from anyone in that room.
What?
And who's the guy in black walking at Kent, along Kent on the freeway? Is that Johnny Cash or is that Antifa?
Wow, you're going to be here all week trying to veal. Jim Walsh doing a little comedy set for us.
I'm glad he's listening to my traffic reports.
Yes,
That's
he
awesome.
is.
Thanks, Jim.
He is. All right, hold on. Stay focused here. Stay focused. First of all, let's talk about there are still some horrible bills that will be coming back up in a couple of weeks, and I wanted you to narrow it down to just a few. So this is House Bill. Check your program at home. This is HB 1380. If I'm a homeless person, can I sue cities?
Yeah, this is the so-called Homeless Bill of Rights. We were able to knock it down last session, but it's still alive, and some of my colleagues on the far end of the other side of the aisle still want to run it. So yeah, it prohibits local jurisdictions, so cities or counties, mostly it would be cities, from doing anything to restrict camping. So make a local ordinance restricting homeless people from camping out in public spaces, parks, sidewalks, whatever. Right now, cities can restrict that. And there have been a bunch of lawsuits about it. You probably know that one was Boise, the city of Boise. And then there was one Grants Pass. And the Grants Pass one is the more recent court decision that said, yeah, cities can restrict that stuff.
Right, because the Ninth Circuit originally, it was like 4 or 5 years ago, right, Jim? Ninth Circuit said you have it's cruel and unusual that you have a constitutional right or a human right to sleep. You should be able to sleep. And they said, by stopping somebody from sleeping. And then they were able to extrapolate out from that. Well, if you're on a bench and somebody tries to stop you from sleeping on the bench, then your constitutional rights are affected by that or violated. So then it moved even further. Well, then the city has to be able to provide a place for you to sleep, a shelter of some sort. And then it got all messed up for a while. Then the courts looked at it again. Then they said, no, cities are allowed to restrict where you set up and sleep, right? So that now we're back to sort of a sane place.
And that, so the Boise was the mess. The Grants Pass cleaned it up, and now cities can't do this. But anyway, this state proposal would make it illegal in the state of Washington for a local city to say, yeah, you can't set up a tent on the sidewalk in front of the candy store, or you can't set it up in the Little League field or whatever. So we don't like that. We like cities to be able to keep their ordinances and say don't sleep there, don't camp there if they want. This 1380 says that cities can't do that, and if they try to do it, then the homeless person can sue them and get a sue and settle or whatever. And what you'd get is a bunch of ambulance chasing scumbag lawyers would come in, would sue the city on behalf of the homeless, and then do a sue and settle, keep all the money, and give the homeless guy $5.
Right.
We don't want any of that. So no to 1380.
Okay. Then the other one was the other one you come out. SB 5283, low sentencing for sex criminals.
This has been in the news a little bit, and that's a good thing, John. So this is the one where if you get caught in a cyber sex sting operation, the cops will set up these cyber stalker, cyber sex things where the pervert talks to a kid online and grooms them and then sets up a meeting with them. Everybody's heard about these stories.
Sure.
And the cops will set up a phony account. They'll pretend to be a kid. They'll get the pervert to groom the kid and talk dirty and do all this nasty stuff they do. And then get the pervert to try to meet the kids somewhere, and then surprise, it's not a kid, it's a cop, you're arrested. And one state senator, who apparently some big donor or friend of hers or something, had a family member who was a pervert who got caught in one of these stings, decided to run a bill to lessen the sentence for sex criminals caught in cyber stings. Now, it is so wrong, and it is so much against every standard, both traditions and new news around these cyber sex scumbags. We need to make sure this doesn't pass. Now, luckily, it's gotten some media coverage and people are outraged by it, but it's still alive. And some of the state senators were saying they were going to promote it and try to get it passed into law. It's absolutely just bonkers. Terrible proposal.
So the argument on their side would be, well, no one was hurt. So it's very similar to MAPS. You ever heard of the MAPS? Those are minor attracted persons. And when they're asked in an interview, they said, no, we're just attracted to minors. It doesn't mean we act on it. And besides, what's wrong if the child can consent? If a child's 13 years old and consents to the fact that they're in the wrong body, then we give them, the benefit of the doubt that they kind of have a better understanding of who they are. So if they end up if I'm minor attracted, but if I want to have sex, so that's where the MAPs come in. So I guess the people that would support this thing would say, look, there was no harm, no foul. Yes, they had intention, but there was no action. They were talking to a cop who, and this might have been, then they go to entrapment. Well, the cop was sometimes, or the FBI guy, or whoever it is, the vice guy. In a way, they were sort of, entrapping them into this behavior. So that's not fair. So is that their argument, that's why this thing, you can't charge him?
Well, maybe. They haven't even made that. You're better at making the argument, John, than any of the supporters of the bill are.
That's not a compliment, Jim. Not a compliment.
Well, life experience, lived experience. Now, but remember, this is about the sentencing. So make all those arguments when you're at trial, and fine. If you think you were entrapped, make that argument. This is after you've been convicted. And under existing law, grooming someone online like this and speaking to nefarious purposes is currently against the law. This is after you've been convicted, the sentencing guidelines for what kind of prison sentence you get. That's what this bill addresses. So, make those arguments, those clouded mitigating arguments, whatever, while you're at trial. But this is after you're convicted. How long do you go away? Let's not change the current sentencing guidelines. If these people get convicted, they should serve time.
I'm going to represent Jim Walsh. I'm going to test your memory on this one. Do you remember when they were talking about reducing sentencing for juveniles that commit murder? Remember that thing? That if you had committed...
Yeah, and that's a version of that still floating around too. But yeah, that wasn't that long ago.
And it was something like if you kill 2 people, but if you kill 3, I forget the number was, but like 3, we got a problem with that. But 2, we kind of give you a break on that one. It's all, but this is the trouble with messing with sentencing guidelines too much, is invariably you get into these discussions about what's the threshold. When do you turn up the punishment? And why don't we not do that? Why don't we not negotiate these sentencing guidelines and leave them as plain and simple as they can be? It's when you start nuancing this too much, you get into exactly the kind of conversation that you just mentioned, where it's, well, 1 murder isn't that bad, it's going to take 2. No. Don't get into these false equivocation, equivalence arguments. Let's make clear guidelines. If you get convicted of a felony crime, you serve 7 years, you serve 20 years, you serve 25 to life, whatever the simple sentencing guidelines should be. Let's not have the legislature injecting a bunch of complicated formulas into this, or you get the prototypical school budget model, or you get a bunch of convoluted bad public policy, the Climate Commitment Act, where you can't measure any results. Let's not do that. Let's keep the sentencing guidelines simple and clear. And also, I saw there's some work being done in Olympia that would allow the judges more leeway to determine what the sentencing would be. They could have more sympathy for individuals or look at disparate impact. Percentage-wise, there's more black than white, so therefore we're going to reduce how much time you do. Less juveniles are going to prison. They're doing more restorative justice, and I think the word's an oxymoron. But it seems like they're giving more leeway to more of these very liberal judges that seem to have a great deal of sympathy for the criminal rather than the victim that has suffered truly.
And this one about the cyber sting, sex predator stuff fits in that category. But John, at the same time, there are other bills in Olympia that make it more rigid what judges have to do. Like right now, there's some controversial bills affecting family law, particularly custody of kids, that are actually going the opposite direction. They're making the process for determining who gets custody in a divorce situation and on what grounds more rigid and taking discretion away from the judges. And a lot of people involved in family law issues are up in arms about it because they say that actually cuts against good outcomes in determining custody arrangements, especially in disputed ones where the exes are fighting. And we had some compelling testimony from a couple of women who believe that these family law proposals actually favor the kind of sociopathic ex who's a cool liar and can work a system. And they want the judges to have more discretion in those situations. But the left pushing these bills in Olympia want to do away with the judicial discretion in family law to a bad effect. So it's a chaos, John. It's a mixed bag of which direction we're going and instructions to judges.
Yeah.
And we got to look at our whole judge situation in the state. We need a better way to get our judges on the bench in this state.
Well, they run unopposed. They run unopposed. The prosecutors don't have any of the power. It's the defense attorneys that give them all the endorsements, give them all the money, and then they basically win. And then it doesn't matter what laws you pass, they're going to just kick them out the door. Hey, let's talk about something positive. They have enough signatures for Parents' Bill of Rights and allowing girls to compete against girls?
Darn close if we're not there, but yeah, it looks like both of those are going to be in good shape. And voter ID is a little bit behind the other two, but it's on track to get there. It's just going to be a rush in the last 21 days or so here before the signatures are due. But it looks like at least, well, I mean, at the last count, the no boys and girls sports was in first place. It was ahead and almost certain to get the qualifiers. Restoring Parents' Bill of Rights right behind, also very likely. And voter ID is in third, but still on track to get there. We just have to finish strong.
Why is the teachers union giving $50,000 to allow boys or encourage boys to compete against girls?
Yeah, they set up this Insta PAC designed specifically to fight that initiative. And it's going to take more than $50K to fight it. They're ideologues, John. It has nothing to do with good policy. It has nothing to do with good education outcomes for kids. It has nothing to do with good sports, which I do believe sports is an important part of K-12 education, learning not just the physical, well-being in playing sports, but there are life skills in it, learning to win and lose with grace, learning to get along with teammates. I believe sports is important to K-12 education, basic education, and it's ideology. They are hardwired into this transgender ideology, and they want to couch it as if you don't support them, you have no sympathy or empathy for a transgender person. That is a lie. You can have complete sympathy for a transgender person and not want biological boys in girls' locker rooms and playing on the field or the court against young girls. The two are not mutually exclusive. You can believe both things.
Right.
And most of the people who support the initiative do believe both things. And it's a completely ideological fix that the teachers union is in. And it's unfortunate because the teachers union is going to lose members by doing this. This is a losing issue for them. And if there are any teachers listening or watching, talk to your union reps. This is not the hill to die on, because it's a losing bid for WEA.
Yeah.
They should not be, putting so much of their time and effort into this. It's not good for kids.
Well, they not time, effort, and teachers' dues, $50,000.
Yeah,
right?
And teachers have a right to ask questions about that, using their dues money for this.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Walsh, well done.
Well, it's not all bad, John. We've got a few good initiatives and a few good bills pending. We're going to try to fix this thing. Speaking of teachers and schools, this stupid sales tax that's putting a sales tax on schools. So the Olympia's going to steal money back from schools. Let's get rid of that.
We weren't scheduled for that. We got to check traffic. Mr. Walsh from the 19th. Here we go. Here he comes. Play him out.
From the fighting 19th, Jim Walsh won't let Washington fall.
Wow. Oh, my God. Thank you, Jimmy. All right, good Sully checking traffic. Sully.
Got some positive news for those folks stuck in these 4.5 to 5 mile backups in both directions of the Hood Canal Bridge. They have opened one lane of alternating traffic now. They're starting to get some people moving. It's going to take a long time, though, considering the backups that we're seeing. But a little positive news there. Alternating traffic is now in effect. Looking at the worst drive out there on our freeways, it's definitely northbound 405 from 520 all the way up through Canyon Park. Bumper to bumper, and an hour and 15-minute trip from Bellevue to Everett. That's just ugly. That's about a 15-minute delay. I-5 is not as bad. It's running close to an hour to get you up into Everett. There's still a lot of braking right around the Boeing Freeway there as we continue to see some earlier problems there. Across the trestle, eastbound, we still have the right lane blocked at the east end as they're trying to protect the underside of the trestle from all the debris that came through. Looking at Seattle down to Federal Way at about 50 minutes, and you got about a 10-minute delay into Pacific in both directions of 167. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Thank you, Sully. For 25 years, Longevity Medical Clinic has been using the latest science to be able to extend your life. It's in their name, longevity. I've been a patient since 2009. I was pretty sure I was in great shape, and then after a blood draw, and then going back in 2 weeks later, when I sat down with the doctors, they're like, you got some early indicators of heart disease. I said, whoa, I just finished running an Ironman. I'm in great shape. And then they talked about my family history, and they asked about my dad and stuff. And they said, well, genetically, you've been handed a couple of bad cards. So we're really going to watch those numbers, because early indicators of heart disease, this stuff starts to build on itself, increase plaque, and then other problems. What we're trying to do is stop you from having to get onto some sort of prescription drug. We have to take that every single month. So let's bring those numbers down. It's just basically being proactive. And again, I've been a patient since 2009. I can tell you, remarkable to be able to work with the doctors that are using the latest science. If you would like to extend your life to avoid the big bad one like heart disease and diabetes and cancer, and just feel better as you get older, take the free health analysis at longevitymedicalclinic.com.
Looking for a gap. He's got one. He's off to the races. Look out. They're not going to touch him. Touchdown, Seahawks.
Make it back-to-back 10-win seasons for the Seahawks, but they're just getting started.
We building a brotherhood. That's what it's about.
It's the Seahawks' quest to win the NFC West.
You got a lot of special dudes on this team.
Placement, and it's blocked.
Yes.
Guess who? It's Eamon Warwick. Yeah, guess who?
And it's only on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, where the 12s hear the Hawks.
Jason Rance here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. So you and I have talked before about the folks who think they can do this themselves. And again, I imagine there are a lot of people who are saying, well, new administration, fewer staff members, now I truly can get it done.
Really, in this situation, I do feel really bad for the taxpayer, because here you're getting a notice. You call the IRS, you're going to be on hold for 45 minutes to an hour. And so getting through is going to be more difficult. And when you do get through, you're going to be talking to people that are not as well trained as they have been in the past.
Which makes it even easier for them to take advantage, even if it's not intended, against the person who owes taxes.
I've heard it said that they just will make up something because they want to respond to the taxpayer. And people are going to get some really bad information, and they're not going to know.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, call Greg Nunn, None Better Tax Resolution, 425-947-1967, or Google NUNN, None Better Tax Resolution.
Xfinity is the network you can rely on, like a close friend who never lies. The friend who will tell you that new haircut, it's not great. Friends make sure friends get good haircuts. And Xfinity makes sure you get a good deal on Wi-Fi. Xfinity gives you reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi at our best price. This holiday season through December 21st, get gig speed Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 whole years. No strings, no commitments. Just super fast, reliable gig speed Wi-Fi with our best equipment and unlimited data included. Save yourself from questionable decisions and save over Verizon and AT&T. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. More than a dozen rivers are now expected to reach major flood stage as a second, stronger storm system begins to roll through. KIRO 7 TV's Morgan Palmer on what to expect in the coming hours.
Tonight, breezy with rain increasing. Tomorrow morning is going to be a soaker, and we'll have heavy rain at times Wednesday into Thursday morning.
I'm Heather Bosch.
It's kind of like a 1-2 punch.
This time, meteorologist Kirby Cook says the storm system could dump 8 to 15 inches of rain in the central Cascade Mountains, where the headwaters of the rivers are. This follows the storm's initial hit, which pushed 24 Washington rivers over their banks.
It's sort of like two crests, two waves coming down the rivers from the mountains. It's that second crest is going to be on top of whatever water was there before.
He says this will affect every river coming off the mountains, but will likely have the biggest impact in Snohomish and King counties.
Region should start to dry out by Friday with rivers receding. State of Washington has mistakenly issued hundreds of licenses to drive trucks and buses to non-citizens who do not qualify. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lenzi reports.
According to the Washington State Standard, the licensing department here found nearly 700 wrongly issued licenses over the past 7 years. Earlier this year, U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy threatened to withhold federal highway funding from states where this kind of thing happens.
We have a government system designed to keep American families on the road safe, but that system has been compromised.
A DOL spokesperson tells this Standard that the errors have been addressed and that the department is working to make sure this doesn't happen anymore. Frank Lenzi, KIRO News Radio.
Newly released cockpit audio captures a distress call after an off-duty Alaska Airlines pilot tried to shut off a plane's engines mid-flight.
I'm sorry, who's that?
That's Horizon 2059. We've got a jump seater. Just try to shut our engines off. We need to go direct to Portland now.
Plane landed safely where Joseph Emerson was arrested in October 2023. Said he'd been depressed, sleep-deprived, and took psychedelic mushrooms 2 days before that flight. Under a plea deal, he received time served and supervised release. Let's check the roadways now from the real-time traffic desk. It's 4:33. Here's Sully.
And Aaron, we are really struggling still on eastbound 104 and northbound 3 trying to get up to the Hood Canal Bridge. One lane of alternating traffic is being routed around the vehicle recovery. There was a crash involving a dump truck there on the west end or the north end, depending on how you call it. And they're in the process of trying to get it out of there. But right now, huge backups in both directions. So if you can delay your trip there for a while, that'd probably be a good idea. Northbound I-405. Bumper to bumper from 520 all the way up past 522. We have an hour and 20-minute trip from Bellevue into the Everett area. We're also seeing heavy brake lights past the Boeing Freeway on up into downtown. Looking at Seattle into Everett at a little bit better at about an hour. Eastbound across the trestle struggling because the right lane is blocked at the east end. They're trying to protect the underside from the EB Slough and all the debris in it. Rest of the map looks okay for this time of day. There is a little slowing on southbound 5 getting into through JBLM. But Tacoma to Olympia is running right around 42, 43 minutes. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Well, seeing plenty of rain and moisture in the mountains right now. Moisture also starting to stream into the South Sound. The Olympic Peninsula also getting dumped on right now. We will all see rain later on tonight. And again, it'll be heavy at times into tomorrow. Plenty of rivers will flood. Right now, 52 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
KIRO 7 TV's Pinpoint Alert Days. It's your advance notice to stay safe. When weather threatens to damage and disrupt your daily life, KIRO 7 sounds the alarm, preparing you days in advance. Stay informed, stay prepared with KIRO 7 Pinpoint Alert Days only on KIRO 7 News.
Well said, right there, Joe. Don't forget about Bucky's. Bucky's Auto Service Centers, all decked out for the Christmas holidays. Take your kids there, all 16 locations. Just go in there and just smell the tires and brake fluid.
Tires
Oil.
are great.
Oil.
Gasoline.
Gasoline. You know it's the holidays. Hit the music there, please. Gifting here. Oh, nice build-up.
Yes.
What song have you chosen this year? Oh, okay.
Snow's coming down. I'm watching it fall. Lots of people around. Baby, please come home.
Jenny McKeefrey, Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, wait a minute. We're not allowed to say Merry Christmas, not if you're living in Suncadia.
Merry Christmas.
Ooh.
Oh, we're coming after you. Jenny, what happened? What's the big story up there that you sent me the email last night?
Well, in the big scheme of things, it's probably not huge, but I'm just kind of tired of feeling oppressed. We had a beautiful roundabout that they decorate every year for Christmas with lots of lights on the trees and big golden globes with lights. And for some reason this year, we have a beautiful Merry Christmas sign put up.
Mm-hmm.
And lots of us loved it. And apparently some didn't. And before we knew it, it came on the first time over the Thanksgiving weekend. And within a couple of days, it was no longer lit.
Mm.
So not knowing if it was a power issue or whatever, people started asking, and we were told that someone complained, so they shut the lights off. So those of us that really liked the sign tried to reach out to Suncadia, but they have not responded to let us know. And we've just found out through the contractor that they were told to take it down 2 days ago because someone kept trying to relight it, plugging in the extension cord. So the sign is now completely gone. And after 3 emails and a couple of phone calls, I did get a response from a gal who happens to be a personal friend of ours, but she doesn't have anything to do with the management of homeowners association or anything. And she sent me an email and called me and told me that the sign was put up by mistake by the contractor, that they didn't get permission. They just decided to give it to us for, I guess, free and put it up, and which I find hard to believe. And
I was going to say, it's outside the normal behavior. Let's just put it
Right.
that way. Okay, yeah.
Right. And it's not a small sign, so I'm sure it cost the contractor some money to haul it over here. And she said her exact words in her email to me were that the decision was not about siding with one viewpoint over the other, but rather making sure all owners and guests feel comfortable in such a highly visible shared space.
Uh-huh.
So that's the only response I've received. I called again to the director of the Homeowners Association. He still hasn't returned my call. And several of us have been complaining, and no one can hear back from them. They just haven't responded to any of us.
Well, you guys must have a Facebook page there at Suncadia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. My husband posted the picture and asked about why it was shut off and then why it was taken down, and lots of comments. And honestly, the first time I looked at it, there were probably about 20 comments, and there was only one negative comment. And then last night he went on and I went on to look at it, and all of the comments had been deleted and the post had been shut down. So we apparently, I didn't know this, have a second Facebook page, Tumble Creek / Suncadia.
Oh, the Tumble Creek, the rich folks.
The rich folks, and it's not censored apparently.
Right,
so he posted again, and I checked that just before I came on here, and there's probably 15 posts. People wanted to know who to contact, and I just gave them the name of the director again, and they said they're sending emails and or calling. And again, out of the 15 or so comments, there was only one negative comment. And I don't know who, was the one that said they didn't want the sign, if they were a guest, if they're a homeowner. We live here full time, year round, and most of the homeowners seem to want it. But,
But you understand, Jenny, you understand that it got politicized, right? That people took Merry Christmas.
No kidding.
Right. So it gets politicized. But if you go back to the original, my friend Dan Redwine directed me to this. I didn't realize that it was really the beginning, sort of where it became more commonplace, with Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, where Merry Christmas, redefining the holiday with charity and kindness and family. And it was Dickens with Merry Christmas was then heard, on everyone's lips, Merry Christmas as you go, and bah humbug, and, of Christmas. And remember how much Scrooge had a problem with it. Then at the end, and Merry Christmas, and everybody Merry Christmas. Generally, the idea was, it was really about goodwill towards men, about kindness. I don't think why people would have a problem with kindness and being good to others. Not necessarily in it meaning directly to the birth of Christ, but it became popularized because of Dickens, and it was around for the long time. But I guess then all of a sudden, when you got Donald Trump back in 2017 saying, we're going to be able to say Merry Christmas again and not Happy Holidays, it got kind of wrapped up in that whole thing. And I think it's unfair that they decide, well, we don't want to offend anybody. We want to be as inclusive as possible. So we'll basically exclude everybody from expressing anything. But if you had a sign up there that said, peace on earth, goodwill towards men, would they want that sign taken down? Right? Because that's the meaning behind the idea of Christ, coming to earth. So I'm sure they wouldn't take that sign down. But in this case, you moved from the west side over. You moved from the west side over into Cle Elum, and you thought, well, I'll leave all the woke people behind.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
And now you're kind of back into it a little bit.
We're back into it more than we want to be. I can tell you that. We've been here a little over 8 years, about 8.5 years, and again, it's just nobody's right, nobody's wrong. It wasn't a nativity scene. It wasn't baby Jesus out there. It was a Merry Christmas sign, and they sell products in the shops that say Merry Christmas on them. And there are trees in the lodge. There are trees at the winery. I just feel like every little inch you give, they're gonna take a mile. And what are they going to do about anything out here that has a religious bent to it, such as weddings? Suncadia hosts a ton of weddings out here.
Yeah.
And I was doing a little research, and my neighbor told me that on January 9th in 1995, Bill Clinton signed a memorandum through the Department of Housing and Urban Development. And it says right on that Merry Christmas is secular. It's not used for, religious reasons. And it's okay to say Merry Christmas, but
Yep. Well, maybe they'll bring it back, Jenny. You don't know, because I think a lot of folks from Katie, they were on with Rance, you're on with me, you're on with Brandy Cruz. So who knows? Maybe they'll feel the pressure and bring it back. Good.
I hope so.
Peace on earth.
Before Christmas.
Yes, peace on earth and goodwill towards men for everybody out there.
Yes.
Andrew, take her out with a little bit of music, and there we go.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jenny.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Hey,
Christmas.
Joe. Hey, you two. Knock it off. All right, let's Sully checking traffic.
We've got a 30-minute delay now on northbound 405 trying to get from Bellevue up into the Everett area. We got a 10-mile backup that extends from 520 all the way up almost to 527. So it is an ugly day on 405. And we've got a new crash to tell you about blocking the left express toll lane northbound at about 85th. So plan on major slowing. Now, I-5 from the Seattle area on up into Everett is only running an hour. Now, across the lake, we have very heavy braking on westbound 520. Plan on an extra 10 minutes there. I-90 isn't too bad. Still alternating traffic across the Hood Canal Bridge and big-time backups in both directions of northbound 3 and eastbound 104 as they continue to do vehicle recovery there. If you're heading south from Bellevue down into Renton, an average 35-minute trip for you. Got about a 55-minute trip from Renton down into the Puyallup area. Southbound I-5 struggling a little bit through South Center, but overall about 50 minutes down into Federal Way from Seattle. And the brake lights through the JBLM area are manageable. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Thank you, Mr. Conduit. I love the fact that when I talked to Mike Novak a couple of months ago from the Meet the Novaks, I like this realtor. Here's what I like about him. He's no nonsense. Because they said to me, listen, you let everybody know, Curly, that I can sell their house in 21 days. And if I don't, I'm not going to charge a commission. I was like that? It's going to cost you a lot of money. And then I noticed, doing a little bit more research on Mike Novak, he spends 70 times more than the average agent. I mean, he's that serious. He's putting his money up to make sure that your house gets seen and shown and then sold, because markets are starting to move again because the mortgage rates are coming down. In fact, there's going to be another adjustment probably coming tomorrow from the Fed. That means, boom, comes down one more time. And that means more people are going to start putting the house on the market. As they put the house on the market, well, then they're going to need a good real estate agent to be able to have their house get seen and shown and sold. And it's Mike Novak. He's putting his money where his mouth is. If he doesn't sell your house in 21 days, you don't owe him a commission. You want to meet more about Novaks? How about meetthenovaks.com? That's meetthenovaks.com. Novak, Novak, meetthenovaks.com.
Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision. If you're at the stage where you need readers, whether you've had LASIK or not, it may be time to consider K2 Vision RLE. I tell my King LASIK patients, laser vision correction won't solve the eventual need for reading glasses due to an aging, dysfunctional lens.
But K2 Vision RLE will. It's not a question of if your lens becomes dysfunctional, it's when. At that point, you'll need reading glasses and could benefit from refractive lens exchange, a permanent solution to distance, intermediate, and near vision problems. In other words, no glasses, no contacts, and no readers.
And no cataracts.
Exactly. After K2 Vision RLE, you will never develop a cataract.
K2 Vision RLE is quick and painless.
And because we've performed over 100,000 procedures and followed the outcomes, we have the experience to know if RLE is right for you.
Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at k2visionrle.com. And let's get your vision feeling young again, permanently.
Go to k2visionrle.com.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Make this the last holiday season in that old kitchen. Hi, this is Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Our solid wood refacing system delivers a luxurious new kitchen way easier and less expensive than a tear out. You won't believe the difference. Heritage Homecraft's specialty is custom cabinet refacing and quartz countertops. With Heritage Homecraft, custom means built from scratch just for you. Our own craftsmen, not subcontractors, will reface your existing cabinet boxes with 1/4-inch thick solid hardwood and add new custom-built solid hardwood doors. We can make design changes, add cabinets, install custom features, and top it all off with a brand new quartz countertop. With the holidays here, I know everyone's busy, but if you order your new Heritage Homecraft kitchen now for select install dates after the new year, I'll give you 12% off the entire project. Hey, all year long and especially next holiday season, you'll be delighted that you did. Call today, Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
Life's expensive enough, isn't it? Groceries, gas, kids' activities. Sometimes your roof needs replacing, but your budget says not now. Hi, I'm Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. We want to help with an offer to lift that weight off your shoulders. Get 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. Or save up to $3,000 on a new roof today. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
Have you tried the dining district at the Bellevue Collection? Grab lunch with friends, meet up for happy hour, and stay for dinner and beyond. You can sample international flavors and local favorites from talented chefs. Try a new cocktail on a rooftop bar or watch the game with friends. And explore the lively nightlife scene. The dining district at the Bellevue Collection, where your taste adventure begins. Learn more at BellevueCollection.com/dining district.
Cold is leaking in rocks and mold is creeping in water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
It's a cold winter night and your furnace dies. Don't let this happen to you. If your system's 12 years or older, upgrade now to a Mitsubishi electric heating and air conditioning system from Home Comfort Alliance and stay warm. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com.
I was on the Samantha City Council and they were having a tree lighting. They were going to do a holiday tree. And I was sitting there. It was the kind of the skunk at the garden party there. I said, "Excuse me, yes, Councilman Curley. It's a holiday tree. What holiday? Well, it's the holiday tree. Yeah, what holiday? I just wonder what holiday it is. It's a holiday. Well, we're trying to be, inclusive as possible. I'm just kind of narrowing it down. It seems to be coming in around. It's a tree around Christmas time. Do we want to call it a Christmas tree? Maybe they call it a Christmas tree. We really want to be inclusive. Oh, okay. How about a Christmas tree? That would be good because then everybody knows exactly what it is. It's a Christmas tree rather than a holiday tree. We're not lighting a holiday tree because if you are lighting a holiday tree, what holiday? Well, there's many holidays. I know. That's traditionally kind of the Christmas tree. I'm just wondering, maybe you want to have something else up there. You could do menorah. You could do that if you want, or Kwanzaa, whatever else. That's pretty. I identify that as a Christmas tree. And how's that offending anybody? Well, we'd rather call it a holiday tree. I said, now that offends people because what you're doing is you're somehow trying to hide it. We don't want to call it Christmas. Oh, God forbid we call it Christmas, right?
How many people are really offended by that? I mean, it's got to be just
it's the same thing about people, getting all up about just stupidest stuff because somehow they want to be offended by something. And they decide, that's where they're going to, point their flag and whatever flag they've got.
A couple very loud, squeaky wheels.
It's like, really? Is somebody's believing in peace on earth and goodwill towards men? You got a problem with that? When you say men, aren't you excluding women? I'm glad a lot of that sort of stuff has stopped because that used to be a big deal. All the cups and people screaming about Starbucks and the cups don't have Merry Christmas on them. Do you remember all that?
I do remember.
That was a big deal for a while.
Yeah, I feel like we're over it.
Come on, everybody. Let's go to check in there with Sully over there checking traffic. Sully?
And we continue to work with the 4-mile, 5-mile backups on northbound 3 and eastbound 104 approaching the Hood Canal Bridge. They continue to try to get some vehicle, a dump truck that was involved in the crash, out of the way. They're on the west end or the north end, depending on what you call it. So they've got alternating lanes of traffic working their way through there. So it is a massive, massive delay. And this is also impacting people who are, coming up off the ferry and trying to make their way from Kingston on up and working their way north. So big time delays in both directions. Try to avoid that if you can. We're also struggling on northbound 405. We've got an hour and 40-minute trip to go from Bellevue up into Bellevue up into Everett. That's because bumper to bumper all the way past to 522. And we've got a crash in the express toll lanes right around 85th, so that's not really helping matters either. It's about an hour and 5 minutes from Seattle up into Everett. Also, brake lights from the Boeing Freeway on up north. That's nothing unusual. Eastbound across the trestle, right lane remains blocked at the east end as they're trying to protect the underside of the trestle from all the debris in the EB Slough, which is pretty swollen, so they're working on that. As you're going from Bellevue down into Renton, it's about a half an hour, about 55 minutes from Renton down into Puyallup. Seattle down into Federal Way, about 50 minutes. Not too bad there, and through JBLM is actually okay. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Thank you, Sully. All right, let's say you wake up in the morning and all of a sudden it's a lot colder in the house than you expected because you set the temperature and the thermometer down a little bit, but all of a sudden the thermostat just seems to be blinking. It's not working. And the systems that you have in your house has given up because maybe it's 10 years or 12 years and it's just simply been worn out by all of those long, cold winters. So what do you do when you get out of bed? Well, the first thing you do is you panic and you try to turn it on, turn it off again, and that doesn't work. And then you yell for that special someone in your life that seems to know all the answers. And you know what they've done? They have written down Home Comfort Alliance. They've got it on their phone, or maybe it's on a piece of paper somewhere. It's in the junk drawer, or maybe it's on the refrigerator, because you just want to be prepared. Because if all of a sudden you don't have a heat in the house, that's a big problem. And you're going to call just whoever you find, whatever it is, on the internet, and who knows what those people are like coming into your house, and who knows how long it's going to take them to get there. That's why you want to make sure Home Comfort Alliance is the first call. So God forbid something like the heat goes out, or plumbing, or electric, whatever it is, it's Home Comfort Alliance coming to the rescue. HomeComfortAlliance.com.
KIRO News Radio's Ursula Reutin.
I remember when Holiday Magic started 37 years ago. It was actually my first year here at KIRO News Radio. The impact that this program has had on so many people's lives has truly been inspiring, and I am proud to be a part of it. Join us tomorrow, all day long on KIRO News Radio for the 37th annual Holiday Magic Benefiting Treehouse. You can donate right now. Text MAGIC to 888-973-5476.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
What does VA mean to me?
A place for my daughter to call home, thanks to the VA Home Loan.
A new lease on life. The best healthcare team I've ever had is here at VA.
And education, and the opportunity to open doors I never thought possible with my GI Bill.
The financial support I need to manage the disabilities I developed because of my service.
Get what you earned. Visit choose.va.gov.
Not all veterans are eligible for the type or amount of benefits mentioned here.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant,
She knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Ulta Beauty's big holiday beauty sale is back with up to 50% off must-have gifts. Shop irresistible deals like the Shark Beauty Flex Style and Benefit Cosmetics travel size mascaras. With new offers weekly, same-day pickup or delivery, and our trusted associates, we make holiday shopping effortless. Head into Ulta Beauty today. Ulta Beauty. Gifting happens here.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Hey, it's Brock Ewart here, and you got to take the First Mark Insurance Challenge. It could save you a lot of money and get your family better coverage. First Mark has saved my family thousands of dollars every year. Take the First Mark Challenge. It's totally free. Just simply go to FirstMarkInsurance.com.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. President Trump is in Pennsylvania touting what the White House says are his accomplishments on the economy.
You're doing better than you've ever done. Under our leadership, more than 40,000 Pennsylvanians have been lifted off of food stamps. 40,000.
CBS's Nancy Cordes is at the rally in Mount Pocono, Pennsylvania.
There was one gentleman I spoke to who actually gave the economy a B. That was the highest grade we got. And he said that it's in part because his 401k is doing great this year. His investments are doing great this year. The stock market is at record highs. But he also noted that not every American has money in the stock market. They're not benefiting the way that he is.
Eileen Higgins is projected to become the first Democratic mayor of Miami in nearly 30 years. The Associated Press says it looks like she'll win the race over a Republican endorsed by President Trump. One student is dead and another is in critical condition after a shooting at Kentucky State University. A school spokesperson says it happened outside a residence hall. This student was in the area at the time and heard the shots fired.
Like 3, 4. Once it happened, you in shock, because we just thinking oh, we got to get out the way. We not trying to get harmed or anything.
A suspect is in custody, and the school says that person is not a student. A Biden-era student loan repayment plan could be ending sooner than expected. The Trump administration has reached a settlement with Missouri, which sued over the student loan repayment plan known as SAVE. Scott Buchanan of the Student Loan Servicing Alliance says Congress had already passed legislation to end the plan.
About 7.5 million borrowers who had been enrolled in the SAVE plan or pending an application to get into the SAVE plan, those borrowers had been on hold for about a year now since the courts had entered an injunction.
If the settlement is approved, millions of borrowers will need to find another option to pay back their debt. It's been another day in court for U.S. healthcare CEO suspect Luigi Mangione. The CBS's Lilia Luciano has the latest on the pretrial hearings to review what evidence will be allowed at Mangione's trial.
Today, inside a New York City courtroom, his defense team fought to toss out evidence recovered at that scene, claiming it was obtained illegally. Last night, prosecutors released new evidence, including handwritten notes that seem to show plans to change his appearance. One reads, "Change hat, shoes, pluck eyebrows." Police also say they found a loaded gun magazine, a 3D printed gun, and a silencer, and more pages from a notebook detailing possible travel routes to evade authorities.
This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people At O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Cars submerged, a family rescued, flooding impacts coming up after Chris Sullivan at the real-time traffic desk.
And we're feeling some flooding impacts right now, Aaron, for those of you on the eastbound Highway 2 trestle trying to get over to the Lake Stevens or Snohomish side because of the debris in the EB Slough that is kind of hitting the trestle there. They're trying to protect it and remove it. We've got the right lane blocked, and we're bumper to bumper all the way over to I-5. That's one of the reasons why we're so slow from the Boeing Freeway north up through the area. So you're going to need at least about 10 extra minutes trying to get up into Everett on that particular part of the drive. Northbound 405 has been struggling all afternoon, and from 520 all the way up past 522, hour and a half trip for you guys, maybe a little bit more to get you up into Everett out of Bellevue. And we've been working a crash in the express toll lane near 85th, one of the two, far left as near as I can tell. Seattle to Everett is about an hour. Westbound across 520 is just jammed up. I mean, it is ugly. Looking at least 35 to 40 minutes. I-90 is a much better bridge. Going down south, working your way out of South Center, going to see some brake lights there. The normal stuff away from Renton. Overall, Pierce County isn't terrible. A little bit more braking now, though, on southbound 5 getting you through JBLM. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
And good evening, I'm Aaron Granello. Another river of rain has arrived after last night's storm left pools of water on many roadways. Pierce County Sheriff's Deputy Carly Capetto says they had to tow several cars that got stuck.
We are encouraging people not to drive through bodies of water and bypass our road closure signs.
Few drivers ignored those warnings in Lewis County, where firefighters pulled 5 people from vehicles trapped underwater near Napavine. Dan Garcia works at the nearby Chevron.
There's a car that's been stuck in the water all morning. Co-workers told me they had to, massive fire station had to come by and break the glass to get the driver out.
Seattle Times reporting crews also saved a family of 6 from a waterlogged home south of Chehalis. KIRO 7 TV meteorologist Morgan Palmer says more flooding is ahead overnight.
And it looks like the North Cascades going to get the worst of the rainfall with this. So that's why we have river flood warnings across the entire region.
More than a dozen rivers are now forecast to reach major flood stage. A man accused of viciously and randomly attacking a 75-year-old woman in downtown Seattle, now charged with first-degree assault. Casey McNerthany is with the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office.
She's surviving, but what police said is that she might lose sight in one of her eyes, and that's just awful.
The 42-year-old man is accused of hitting the woman in the face with a wooden stick embedded with metal screws. This happened near 3rd and James last Friday. Seattle police officers are officially getting a raise after the city council voted today to approve a new contract with their union. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch reports that vote was divided.
In the end, the SPOG contract passed by a margin of 6-3. The opposition, including Councilmember Rob Saka, cited the lack of police accountability and full subpoena power for civilian oversight.
I cannot justify spending so much more on officers right now who are already earning the most in the state, while essential accountability tools remain missing.
Council members Alexis Mercedes Rink and Daniel Strauss also voted no. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Weather now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Getting breezy tonight. Also windy with advisories in effect. 40 to 45 mile per hour gusts in some areas. Major flooding expected on many rivers tomorrow through Thursday. Right now, 52 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hi, you've reached the John Curley Show listener introduction line. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you enjoy the show.
This would be informative.
Thank you.
This would be informative.
Good afternoon. I'm taking my mask off here for reasons that will become obvious during our discussion.
Remember those days? Oh, my God. What a fraud. Let me put my mask on. Let me take my mask off. Tom and I used to go round and round on that, didn't we, Andrew? Still see people with them on. Try to be a good person. I'm trying to think, well, bless them. Just pull a sort of a Houston or Texas thing. Bless their heart. Just bless their heart. They got a mask on. They're outside on their scooter. Just bless them.
They're giving you something to talk about.
Bless their heart.
Like pull-ups at the airport.
No, it's not like that. It's nothing like that. It is nothing like that. Diving into the nerves. They're just longing for the good old days. And they're told what to do. Don't go to church, but feel free to march around in a BLM riot. Good, bad. Hey, don't get me started on all that stuff. Let's get Sully in here. I haven't played this in a long time. People are like, what happened? Huh?
Barbie Stage 3, Barbie Stage 3. Don't forget, guys, it's divorce night, $5 off. All drinks, $15. Barbie Stage 3, Barbie.
People are like, why is that Sully's walk-on music?
Don't know. Don't know.
I grabbed it during a break like 10 years ago. I was like, that'll work. I didn't really think about it.
It's a good one.
It is goody. It's a goody. All right, so we got a whole bunch of stuff on the docket here. Finally, after how many years? A 3-year delay, total amount of delay to get the I-90 bridge with the floating bridge there with the trains. 3 years behind. 3 years behind. And how many billions? We have any idea how overdrawn in the old bank account we are on this thing?
We're waiting for the official tally on that. The budget was $3.7 billion. We know with a 3-year delay, it is going to be somewhat north of that. We don't have the official number yet, but it is going to be significantly higher than that. And of course, the Sound Transit will be suing the contractor that they're still working with to get across the bridge because of the issue, because it was a bad concrete issue and a bad issue with what they laid down in 2019. You remember, you probably don't, but I do. I was across the bridge in July of 2019 as they were talking about, they were so excited. They were laying tracks. This has never been done in human history. Then the plinths, as they were called, the things that suspend the tracks, because no one in the history of human endeavor has anyone put a rail line across a floating structure.
Right. Because most people would think, well, that's just crazy, especially if it's only going to carry a few people and it's not going to take that many cars off the road. And we're going to get rid of our capacity lanes and we're going to have everybody stuck in this traffic while this stupid train choo-choo across the track costing how many billions of dollars while the rest of us are sitting in traffic. And this thing's carrying a few lonely souls back and forth into the city.
Yeah, and if you remember, this is from ST2 in 2008 when this was voted for. This isn't an ST3, which was 2016. So this has been on the drawing board and been promised to voters since 2008. And they say they're going to have it ready before May 31st of next year, just in time for the World Cup. We'll believe it when we see it. Again, it's 3 years behind schedule, and we'll see. But we're going to start seeing test trains maybe over the next week or so. They're finally going to start running trains in what they call revenue service preparations as they test those trains. But yeah, we'll see. And again, it was never really designed to get rid of traffic.
Yeah, I like that. I read your article, and all the way down the last paragraph is for the few cars that it will reduce or something like that. It's like, well, why did we do it?
Well, because what it does is it provides a much faster trip for people who are in buses today. So it's a way for people who are on transit already to get a much more reliable trip, because as the fun last line in my story at my Northwest Com reads, trains don't get stuck in traffic, but buses do.
Right.
So that's really what this is about. It's about giving people options for transit who are now stuck in buses across the lake. Now they won't have to do that. And again, opening to the east side, I think, will probably be a game changer in some way. I've said this all along, whether you like light rail or not, just running up I-5 doesn't really do anything. But to get it to a legitimate suburb or another legitimate city like Bellevue, not to discount Federal Way or Linwood, right? I live up, those are smaller little suburban communities, but to get to someplace that's another urban center that Bellevue has become, I think it could actually impact things a little bit more than what we've seen along I-5. But, again, we'll have to wait and see.
But if you just do the math, let's say, I don't know how many people are riding the thing, and you think, okay, so if they were delayed by 20 minutes to be on the bus, just let's say 30 minutes, 30-minute delay for them, what is their value per hour, depending on what they do with that hour? And then you say, so there's 100 of them and they're being delayed by 30 minutes by being stuck in traffic. They're that valuable that we're going to spend, I don't know, $5 billion in order to get them across the bridge because their time is that valuable rather than them being on the bus. The whole Sound Transit thing. And when Claudia Balducci was in here, when she was running for King County executive, I said to her, they spend a lot of money on all this stuff. She goes, well, people like to ride the trains. I said, yeah, but they're getting off the bus and they're getting onto a train. Is it really that? You're not reducing the cost, the time for anybody else in their cars, but the billions and billions of dollars. And then I realized, yeah, it's the stupid people that voted for it. And I wonder if the stupid people that voted for it, if they were, I'm sorry, Joe, but it's true. If they were told, by the way, this thing is not going to cost X, it's going to cost X times 5, and it's not going to be delivered on the 2019, it's going to be delivered 2025 or 2026, would they still vote for it? And every time when they put these Sound Transit things before the voters, they're like, yeah, we like that idea. But if they knew the real numbers, they knew the real cost, maybe they wouldn't vote for it. But it cost all of us in order to be able to have this fantasy world that people are going to be around in a choo-choo train and all of a sudden all the traffic's going to go away.
Yeah, if you remember to 2016 ST3, they even promoted this as this is not a way to get rid of congestion. This is a way to, but people still voted for it. If you think about it, and again, it's all Seattle. It's all Seattle.
Right.
Because up in Snohomish County where I live, it narrowly passed. It failed in Pierce County. And they're floating they're working on an ST4 right now to try to put out to voters to try to make up the tens of billions of dollars of which they don't have to finish what they did with ST3 because the costs are going up. I mean, to get to West Seattle started at what, $3 billion? Now it's almost 12.
And they might not even go there, right?
Well, they probably shouldn't. I mean, again, now the voters were and here's the interesting language. And if you'll notice now that Dow's there and you know how good he is at turning a phrase, it's now, well, we have to provide what the voters voted for. That's their benchmark now. We promised them, so we have to deliver, as opposed to, well, maybe critically think right now and find out, is it really worth going to West Seattle? Can we get there with better bus service? Are we really going to spend $12 billion to go 3 miles?
Yep.
I mean, and then we haven't even talked about Ballard. That's going to require another tunnel.
They're not going to get to Ballard either.
I mean, and so it's like, okay.
And the part of it is, we have to deliver what we promised. Okay, then drop the price. The time is gone, but then you have to drop the price. You go in, you order a hamburger, and you look at the menu, and the menu is, it's going to be $8 for a hamburger, or here in Seattle, $24. And then when they bring it to you, and they bring the check, and they go, it's $90. Whoa, 90? The menu said I ordered it. The menu said 22. Why is it 90? Well, we're delivering what you want. Yeah, but I didn't order a $90 hamburger. I ordered the $22 hamburger. Well, because of delays and this and that, it's going to be $90. That you're not delivering what they wanted.
I also ordered it 2 weeks ago.
Right. Yes. You're sitting there, and 4 years later they come back. Yeah.
Which is also, and I want to. Here's another good one from our good friend Dow. We had a soundbite from him before the opening of the Federal Way extension that happened Saturday, where he said, "Oh, we're coming in ahead of schedule and $500 million under budget." I'm like, what? Huh? And here's how the math and scheduling works at Sound Transit. John, I'm going to redo your bathroom.
Okay.
It's going to take me a month.
Okay.
2 weeks in, John's going to take me 9 months.
Okay.
I finish in 8, I'm a month early.
Right.
That's how scheduling works at Sound Transit. So for him to have actually said with a straight face, oh, we're ahead of schedule. Yeah, because you moved the schedule to next year, realized you couldn't get across the lake in enough time, so you sped up Federal Way, but it was still supposed to open last year.
Come on, Sully, you're supposed to remain non-biased on this one.
I am non-biased. It's math. It's math and scheduling. Anybody tries to tell you a schedule like that, you'd be like, what? You're not early? You're 8 months late.
Well, they picked up the goalpost, they put them on the train, and brought them across the bridge. Let's talk about, and I don't know if I'll catch you off guard on this stuff, and I always bugged you with this starting in April or whatever the month was, they kicked it in, revenue and fare box collection. You laugh, but I've asked you, how are they doing? Because it used to be 40%, there was their goal. In order to be able to pay for the choo-choo train and the rest of the stuff, it was 40% would be coming from fare box. It dropped all the way down to 8% or something like that, right?
It's still there because they refuse to collect fares. The only people who pay fares are, people who think about it. We have no turnstiles. I don't know why it is so difficult to put it. If you go to Northgate, why not put a series of turnstiles before you go up the darn escalator? Make people pay. I don't understand. I mean, New York, Chicago, LA, DC, San Francisco, they all make people pay. And I just don't understand that here. Well, and they always say, well, Seattle's not a turnstile kind of city. Like, well, then what's the point? And then you can't ask anybody for, I mean, if someone asked me for my fare, hey, give me your Orca card to see if you paid, I'd be like, sorry, I don't speak English. And be like, they'd have to walk away. There's no accountability.
Right.
And it's so frustrating. But no, they haven't gotten any better.
You know what's crazy about that? The ambassadors, when they call them fare ambassadors, they'd go up to the person, did you pay? The person says, no, I didn't pay. And then they would say, well, do you need some help learning how to pay? And then I think they went, and then they're not allowed to ask for their ID. But it's the second time if they go back, then there's concern. They might give them a fine. And then I think they have to address them like 3 times or 4 times.
It got up to 5, I believe.
Okay, 5 times. And then it's like, okay, well, this is your final warning. Now you have to go to a class and sit in this class and give us your feedback on how we run our sound transit, or you have to pay like a fine or some other ridiculous thing. I mean, it's just nuts that you would have adults. I'm assuming there were also like chimpanzees and maybe armadillos in there as well voting on this, because how would you possibly present this to a bunch of rational thinking people that you can't ask for ID, that you go to the person 5 times, and then after the 5th time, then you find them something or make them go to watch a video, right? Isn't that what it is?
Yeah, that's what it was. I'm not sure if that's still accurate, because I know they have stepped up enforcement a little bit over the last year. Again, with the fare ambassadors, not the transit cops that we used to have.
Right, but where's the fare box collection?
Get people off.
But how is the fare box collection?
It's still low.
Up?
Yeah, it's still, and I'm waiting for a revenue update on that with the board meeting. I think because of Christmas, it's next Thursday. I think, to kind of get an update on where we are on that. But yeah, it's just it's weird. It's a really weird way to run a train system,
right,
or run a transit system where you need money to pay for the trains, but you don't collect it from anybody who uses it.
Well, it's not fair because it's disproportionately affecting one group over another. And don't forget, everybody on the train is a racist, so that's a problem too. So I want to clear up this little thing because I don't know what happened. I guess the check got lost in the mail. I will give you $5,000 cash, okay? In 20s, 10s, whatever you want. And I'll give 100 to Andrew just for no reason.
Ones would be great.
Hold on. If you can get them to see that this is wrong and have them open that lane back up again until they actually start doing work on the road.
I'll go right out and I'll hit DOT up again right now.
I'm serious.
I will.
I'll give you $5,000. Okay.
I'm still waiting.
I was drunk.
While on the air, which I'm sure is a larger $5,000 fine to the FCC than it is just paying me off.
This was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was.
But let me explain something to you. Here was the problem. Is it 5?
You didn't think I'd get something done.
No, you completely lucked out. It was I-5. It was I-5 right before you go underneath, right? What's the exit
It's right there at Seneca.
Okay, Seneca. And the story
and the
was...
CD lane's coming from I-90, because remember, you were driving in every day.
Right.
And they had that lane blocked in the CD lanes.
And I said to you, why do they have they're not doing any work? And you said, they're putting the cones there to get people to adjust their driving to get ready for when they start to do the construction. And I was like, what? And I said, when is that going to happen? And they go, so it's like a year out. Okay, so we should start to adjust our driving now. So we're going to close the lane down so they get used to it. I mean, it was so ridiculous. And then you said you'd do something about it. And then all of a sudden the next day, the lane was opened back up again.
Right, because I called DOT and asked them to...
You did not.
Yes, I did.
What did you say? Take the cones down, and they did?
Yes.
Based on what? Like, why would they listen to you? Is this before the beard or after?
No, this is well before the beard. And I also told them that you were very interested, and they were like, John Curley?
No, I don't mean,
I don't
mean crap around here.
Yeah, it's like, so it was like, the two of us combined, they were like, okay, that makes good sense. Yeah, wow. And I got to change the next day.
I know. I was both happy and sad at the exact same time. I'm like, what the hell? He did it. He did it all in one night. You know, all of a sudden it was opened back up again. There was no excuse. They should have a giant sign there. Sorry, I guess you don't need to be warned ahead of time. We're doing construction. It was the stupidest idea. And when they did it, I was like, crap. Where am I going to come up with $5,000 tonight? I gave you $100 and you gave it back to me. And I never gave Andrew any money.
Yeah. Wow. It's okay. Well, Holly and I are still waiting on that addition to our house, but that's okay.
What is this one in here, Joe? What's that in there for?
I don't know. I just put up the old cut sheet for.
Okay, let's get him out of here.
Yeah, you're stuck with me because I'm doing traffic for Nate.
Oh, you are? All right, okay. Well, now I talk to Sully, and then I throw it back to Sully. This is a well-planned show. Yeah, all right. What's traffic look like, Sully?
Well, it's a $5,000 kind of commute for those of you that are stuck. No, it's a rough go for getting north out of Seattle or Bellevue, and for those of you stuck trying to get out of Poulsbo and trying to get over across the Hood Canal Bridge in either direction. We have one lane of alternating traffic because they're still trying to remove a dump truck that was involved in a crash earlier today. I mean, we are bumper to bumper almost to the 307 interchange there, coming up out of Poulsbo all the way up to the Hood Canal Bridge on the northbound direction of 3, and eastbound 104 is just backed up significantly, almost all the way to 19 for people who would go up to Port Ludlow. I mean, I've never seen it this bad. So it's nasty. We're seeing the struggle of northbound I-5 past the 526 Boeing freeway there up towards Highway 2. Plan on at least about 10 minutes there. Good news is we're starting to see a little bit of improvement on northbound 405 north of Totem Lake, back down to about an hour and 20-minute trip from Bellevue to Everett, about an hour and 5 from Seattle to Everett. Struggling across the trestle, eastbound Highway 2 because the right lane is blocked over at the EB Slough. That's on the far east end. They're trying to protect the underside of the trestle from all the debris in that swollen water. Rest of the map, westbound across the lake. Boy, it's ugly on 520 all the way from Yarrow Point across to I-5. Gonna need 40 minutes there. Only 25 to get across on I-90, and you don't have to pay the max toll. Heading down from Tukwila down through Federal Way, you've got about 10 minutes worth of a delay. A little bit of slowing in Kent on the Valley Freeway, nothing you can't handle. 55 minutes to get all the way down into the Puyallup area. And this traffic report is brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino, which has the ultimate tribute to rock, Hairball, coming to the Emerald Queen Casino April 2nd. Tickets at theemeraldqueen.com. Hairball, April 2nd, only at the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Matt Caselli, I got to tell you something. It's probably 4 years ago. I went to the doctor, and he's like, listen, you need to get another prescription for your eyes. Or you need to. I was like, well, every year I go get another prescription for my eyes. And he's like, well, that's what's happening. I said, wait a minute, it's like $500 for another pair of glasses or something? I kept hearing about K2 Vision RLE. RLE stands for Refractive Lens Exchange. So I went there. Then I made an appointment. I meet Dr. Kopstein, and we talk about golf and a whole bunch of other stuff. And then I'm like, I got to ask the uncomfortable question. This isn't, how many of these have you done? He's like, I don't know, 80,000. I was like, whoa, I'm in great hands. And he said, calm down there. Let me tell you that I'm going to look at your eyes, and if this is not going to have a great result, I'm going to tell you to come back in 10, 15, or 20 years. I'm like, oh, no, please fix me. Because I had a pair of glasses to see long distance and up close and then mid-range. I'm in a whole box of glasses. And then I get the procedure. K2VisionRLE.com does it for me. I go back in the next day, I got 20/20 vision. Great. No more readers. No more glasses. No more contacts. No cataracts. K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
KIRO News Radio's Manda Factor.
Growing up in this area, I've heard about Holiday Magic for 37 years. They've been doing this, and I, for the first time, get to be a part of it. I am so excited. Join us tomorrow, all day long, for the 37th annual Holiday Magic benefiting Treehouse, helping to brighten the holidays for the more than 6,000 youth in foster care this holiday season. You can donate right now. Text MAGIC to 888-973-5476 or visit mynorthwest.com/holidaymagic.
AAA asked me if I would change my name from Sir Mix-a-Lot to Sir Mix-a-Lot. I said, why would I do that? They said, you're more than just a rapper. You're a car collector. You're a businessman. You're an inventor. Just like AAA is more than just towing. They have awesome travel advisors and insurance agents. And they got 3 A's in their name. Maybe I should change my name. Give me 3 A's. Mix, A, mix, A. When I say mix, give me 3 A's. Mix, A.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
Quiet down, here she comes. Shh. Surprise! Your accountant just emailed to say your quarterly taxes are way higher than you were expecting.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Also, your favorite employee is leaving. They're going to pursue their dream of being a veterinarian.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
The real estate market is picking up and you want to sell with the best. You need to work with the Novak team. Mike Novak guarantees to sell your home in 21 days. If not, he'll sell it for free. Go to meetthenovaks.com. I'll spell it for you. Meet the Novaks Novaks.com.
Best Mortgage, the VA loan and reverse mortgage experts, are proud to partner with KIRO Radio for over 20 years. Get a no-pressure consultation from a real person, never an AI bot. Web search Best Mortgage for honest advice you can trust.
The Pacific Northwest is the perfect backdrop for the holiday season. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law reminds us that the roadways don't always agree.
It's that combination of additional travel, changes in routine, and winter weather that make this the most dangerous time of the year to be behind the wheel.
Any safety tips to help commuters keep the holidays joyful?
The number one cause of accidents remains distracted driving, even during the holidays. So store that cell phone in a place that eliminates temptation. It's imperative we set the example for our teens. Also, be aware of abrupt changes in the weather and prepare for it. Sometimes it's as simple as allowing additional distance for following or stopping. Lastly, make sure your vehicle is properly maintained for winter.
That includes four-wheel drive and chains when required at the pass. Please follow these safety precautions from my good friends at Pendergast Law and keep you and your neighbors safe this holiday season.
Happy holidays from all of us at Pendergast Law.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good evening. I'm Aaron Granillo. Emergencies declared now in both King and Snohomish counties as more than a dozen rivers are forecast to reach major flood stage in the coming days. KIRO 7 TV's Jack Bilyeu in North Bend, where a veterinary clinic flooded last night.
Just full of water and mud. The owner has been kind of squeegeeing the floor all day, trying to get some of the remaining standing water out. We've got missing tiles. She's trying to figure out which of her equipment is damaged, and the equipment that wasn't damaged, well, she's got to figure out a place to store that while they fix the whole clinic here.
No pets were inside when those floodwaters hit. Meantime, another band of heavy rain set to move in overnight. Meteorologist Kirby Cook with the National Weather Service.
It's a forecast to move back to the north overnight and through the day tomorrow, really into Thursday morning.
He says it could dump more than a foot of rainfall in the Central Cascades when it's all said and done. A man who lost his toe while being held by ICE in Tacoma will not be deported, at least for now. KIRO Newsradio's Frank Lindsay reports.
A judge had ordered 37-year-old Greg Sorio, a four-time convicted criminal, deported back to the Philippines. But the Seattle Times reports a judge has put a temporary hold on that until December 22nd. Sorio's not fighting his deportation, but says he wants to be released from custody so he can go to his doctor's appointment and get medical care. Advocates have said detainees like Sorio have faced long delays for medical treatment. His attorney tells The Times it wasn't until Sorio was anemic and vomiting blood that ICE took him to the hospital. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Washington's licensing department now admits it wrongly gave out hundreds of truck and bus licenses to non-citizens. Washington State Standard reports the DOL issued nearly 700 licenses in error since 2018. DOL says those mistakes have been corrected. The agency says it's working to make sure it does not happen again. Let's go now to the real-time traffic desk at 5:33. Here's Sully.
And if you can delay your trip across the Hood Canal Bridge for maybe another hour, that might be a pretty good thing to do, because we have about a 5-mile backup on eastbound 104 and a 5-mile backup on northbound 3 approaching either end of the bridge. Only alternating traffic is getting by because they're still trying to remove a dump truck that was involved in a crash way earlier today. And it is just ugly. And if you're coming off of Kingston trying to work your way that way, we're bumper to bumper through Port Gamble as well. So you can enjoy the park because you'll be seeing it for a very long time. It's just not moving in that general area. Now to this side of the water, we have about an hour and 20 minute trip from Bellevue into Everett, and about an hour and 5 from Seattle into Everett. The brake lights are starting to get a little bit better, but we're still struggling past the Boeing Freeway all the way up to Highway 2. Eastbound 2 struggling across the trestle. Right lane remains blocked as they're trying to protect the trestle from the EV slough and all the debris that's running into the bottom of it. So big time delays there. From the Bellevue to Renton Drive, 40 minutes, about 50 from Renton to Puyallup. Seattle to Federal Way is about 45 minutes. Everett to Seattle coming down is about 50 minutes. So not a good day there either. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Thank you, Sully. Your forecast now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Major flooding expected in the coming days as round 2 of the atmospheric river comes through. We'll dump heavy rain the next couple of days. Should start to finally dry out by Friday morning. Right now looking at 50 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, everybody, gather the kids around the radio set because it's time again. Teeny, if you would please put the bottle down. Put the bottle down.
Just look at it.
I see it. All right, spin the wheel there, drunken little lady. Names of all the players on the board spinning around. Kaleidoscope of colors that lands me, unfortunately. I'll do, you get yourself a piece of toast. You cut out the center part, and you get a poached egg, and you put it in the middle, and you call it egg in a hole. What they call it again? You put the thing in the middle of it, and it's called
egg in a hole.
There we go. Thank you, Aaron.
Wow, I had Sully all ready to go. I told him I might rig the wheel for him, but no.
We can't do that. No. We don't rig stuff. This is not King County. All right. Don't forget names. All the recipes are in one nice leather-bound book. Great Christmas gift for everybody.
The best.
The best, yeah. By the way, when it comes to wishing somebody a Merry Christmas, you could just think of comedian Pete Holmes.
Merry Christmas can go either way, and I hate to offend people. So this whole last holiday season, I didn't let out one Merry Christmas. That's true. Instead, I said, may the birth of the one and only true God Jesus Christ, bestow a blessing of grace and peace upon your household, to the belittlement of every other false religion, lest you be gay. That's what I say. Oh, Minneapolis, thank you for laughing at that in the correct way.
All right, hey, there's a gal who lives in Spokane, and she's got a problem with Brandy Cruz from Undivided. She doesn't like Brandy Cruz. So she decided, Deborah Yepsy, something like that. I screw up everybody's last name, so join the crowd there, Deborah. She goes on TikTok and says,
this conservative in Seattle, Brandy Cruz, she does Undivided. I need to find this woman. Can someone help me find her? Because she's so gross. I'm about to get in my car and drive to this just house. You're out of your damn mind. Oof. You're obsessed with trans. I'm gonna whoop the ever-living shit out of your white ass.
Wow. Whoa, hey, huh? Huh?
think we got all those.
Bring
right?
race into it. Is that our kid in the background? Who's that making all the
I
noise
don't
in the
know.
background?
She's got like two. Somebody else was watching her. It's called a stitch. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Okay. Anyway, so you put that up there. Well, that's illegal. You're not allowed to do that. You can't make threats against somebody, and you can't put it on the internet. So she's in trouble for that. And Brandy then filed with the police. They did the investigation. I think she had I think she had to go to court. She got to go back to court again. And then I don't know I'm assuming she pleads not guilty to the thing, although they got all the evidence of all of it. She could say I was temporarily insane. This is the same gal that was over in Spokane and went up to when some people were getting the initiative signed.
This jack right here. So you can get out of my space.
But I don't want my kids filmed. So I
Local pedophile right here. Racist women. Trans women are women. Trans women are women.
Then just call them women then, if they're women. You don't need to call them trans, right?
Jesus loves you, but listen, my kids' privacy is
No one
really
gives a about Jesus. Get the out of my face
Oh,
before
wow.
I slap you.
Hey,
just go. Leave people's peepees alone. Obsessed with peepees on TikTok in Spokane, Washington. This guy loves to with boys.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, that fine young lady there has got herself some trouble because she said that she was going to hurt somebody, and you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to make threats against someone, so it's going to go to court. And then I think she got one more appearance there before the judge. Brandy responded to it and said, look, I think Brandy at one point said something like, look, if she wants to try to come get me or something, she should know it's not going to go the way she thinks it's going to go. She's not going to be able to kick my rape, right? So, and it reminded me of the time when, this is back in 2022, there was an investigation done by these guys who were part of like a KKK or a white supremacy group or something, and they were sending threats out to various journalists. I think one of them was over at King 5. They had, threatened them and told them, we're going to find out where you live. We're going to come get you. They were intimidating them. So the Attorney General, Nick Brown, decided he would, stand up there and announce.
Today, a member of a violent neo-Nazi hate group was sentenced to 7.
Now, this lady's not part of a neo-Nazi hate group, but it certainly seems she's got a lot of hate in her heart. Whether she's organized or not, whether they have regular meetings, she certainly would fall into the category of somebody that would be, full of hate, right? So about somebody in hate. Okay.
Years in prison.
Wait, back
for
it
a
up.
series,
Hold on.
Was sentenced to 7 years in prison for a series of crimes intended to strike at the fabric of our community. This individual and his co-conspirators sent threatening posters, messages, and materials to individuals in our community solely because of their faith and their background, and solely because of their willingness to speak about this. They targeted individuals, community leaders, and journalists trying to spread awareness about the type of hate that is causing an unraveling of our community. And thankfully, brave men and women of our jury saw through that and convicted this individual last year, and today was sentenced to a significant period of incarceration.
Yeah, 7 years the person got, right? Because they were sending threatening messages, very similar threatening message, full of hate that Deborah's got going on. Maybe these two, Deborah and Brandy Cruz, should do a boxing match. When Trudeau, this is back in 2012, Justin Trudeau goes on and takes on a Senator Patrick Bereza, and they have a charity boxing match. Wow.
A lot of people thought that Justin Trudeau would punch like Justin and then land on the canvas like Justine. That is not happening here. So far, a bit more even in this third round.
This is his liberal bar mitzvah. Today, he becomes a man, Brian. Oh, he's just wailing.
He is now pummeling Brazeau.
This is like his papa coming back in the 1980 election. Everyone counted him out. He lost in 79. Pierre came back in 80. In the second and
Trudeau
third
looking
rounds,
strong.
Boom, boom.
Brazeau's
The
legs
Tories
giving
taking
out on him.
The Tories going down. He's in the corner. This is game over. The blood. The ref's got to stop it.
Brazeau looking disappointed.
A lot of people losing a lot of money tonight. The bookie said 3-1 odds. The pollsters said 3-1 odds. The Tory is getting crushed.
And there you have it. The fight called for Justin Trudeau.
Trudeau won that one.
Oh, yeah.
How about that? I wouldn't have money on Justin on that one,
Me
right?
neither.
I would recommend that Brandy Cruz takes on the angry gal from Spokane. Two of them battling it out. Brandy with her black belt. Undefined. What type of black belt? I wrote to Nicole Thompson. She's with Brandy right now, but she says you could text Brandy. She's in her room. I didn't have time to text her to find out.
Doesn't know.
I'd pay for that.
Yeah.
Put a bunch of money up, right? Have the two of them go out, because this woman says she would be able to kick her butt. Come out there. Well, where are we? I'll tell you where I am. You meet me right here in the ring.
How do we get this
Nicole
going?
Thompson in the corner.
Oh.
Get him in the thumb rock up in there. Brandy, come my eye. I can't see. Come my eye. Come on. I'm gonna get him, Rocky. Gotta get him. Brandy's yelling out, Nicole! Of course she'd win. That'd be great.
Absolutely.
Go ahead. This gal from Spokane, whatever her name is, blah, 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 blah. Go ahead. After you go to court, then you can go there. You say to the judge, hey, I'd like to settle it in the ring. Woman against woman.
Trial by combat.
Brandy.
It's the thing.
I think North or South Dakota chicks get in there and that'd be fun. That'd be great. Why not?
I'm in.
Used to work.
What do I got to do to make it happen?
I don't know.
I'll buy a ticket, pre-sale.
Sally will put up $5,000.
There you go.
There we go. That'd be fun. All right. That's one way to settle the whole thing. Thank you for that. Let's check traffic with Sully. Sully!
I got to get it first, but that's okay. I know it's in the works. We're looking at still rough drive. 5 mile backups on northbound 3 and eastbound 104 to either end of the Hood Canal Bridge as they continue to try to remove a dump truck that was involved in an earlier crash today. And we have alternating traffic, 1 lane of alternating traffic across the Hood Canal, and that's going to be a significant. I mean, it's not moving. If you can avoid this trip for the next hour and a half, you're going to save yourself some time. Go hang out in Poulsbo, have dinner, and then figure it out, because it's not moving. Now to this side of the water, we're starting to see things get a little bit better from Bellevue or Seattle on up into Everett. Still well over an hour and 10-minute trip for either one of those, but it's getting better north of Linwood until you get up to about the Boeing Freeway. But even there, it's starting to get a little better. Across the trestle, still struggling eastbound because the right lane remains blocked as they continue to work with debris removal underneath the trestle. Looking at the lake bridges in the westbound direction, you need about 40 minutes on 520. It is slow there today, but only 20 minutes across I-90, so that's pretty good. Got about a 50-minute trip from Renton down into Bellevue. Looks like into Puyallup. We have a new crash in the toll lane on southbound 167 right there by the Valley Med Center, causing the backup off of 405. Federal Way down into Tacoma, losing a couple of minutes, but overall not bad, and then about 45 down into Olympia. This report brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino. Tribute to Hard Rock, the ultimate one. Hairball, Emerald Queen Casino, April 2nd. Tickets at theemeraldqueen.com. Hairball, April 2nd, only at the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Thank you, Sally. Listen, if you got some hip pain, shoulder, neck, wrist, whatever it is, maybe you're talking about the fact that you're bone on bone, it comes to your knees, I got some great advice for you. Find yourself 1 hour on the 17th of December at 6 o'clock right there with Dr. Mark Wagner. I'll be there as well. I'll be zooming in on this one because Dr. Mark Wagner is going to tell you all about the stem cell procedures. He's done 20,000 of these, and you can ask all the questions you want, and you can find out exactly how it works. I can tell you from my own personal experience, bad hip, told I had to get a hip replacement. I didn't want to do that, is I didn't know how long the downtime was, and I know there's a whole bunch of pain and then recovery. So I thought, I'm going to check out stem cells. So I find Dr. Mark Wagner. I know he's done a whole bunch of them, and a whole bunch of athletes have seen him. So I go in and meet the guy. He started looking at my MRI. He looked at my x-rays, and he said, yeah, this would be great for you. And I got the 90-minute in-office procedure, and now, just last Saturday, I ran for the first time in 7 years. I have got my hips working again. So the 17th of December at 6 p.m., just register, sign up. You can find out more from Dr. Mark Wagner at drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Well, the wet, chilly weather has certainly arrived. It's Mike Salk here, and if your attic and crawl space are well insulated, your home should be fine. Should feel cozy and warm without your furnace having to work overtime. But you'd be surprised to learn how many homes in Western Washington lack insulation in these spaces. It's why you call Crawl Pros. If you're feeling cold drafts or seeing that heating bill spike, now's a great time to learn if you got anything going on behind that crawl space or attic by calling Crawl Pros. They'll come out to your house just like they did to mine, do the corner-to-corner inspection. In my case, they found the problem, showed me the pictures, and then they got it all fixed. Now, if they do discover your home is under or improperly insulated, they'll show you all the utility rebates that are available to help you get the work done correctly. Like if you're a PSE customer and your home was built before 1990, you could get a rebate to cover up to 95% of the cost of the insulation job. If you're worried anything is going on in your crawl space or attic, including critters, water intrusion, mold, plumbing issues, anything, call Crawl Pros and schedule your free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
I'm worried.
About what?
Water.
Oh?
Hot water, if you really want to know.
Water heater worries?
Worried it's wearing down.
Running out?
The hot doesn't last like it used to.
So you're...
Worried.
I got a guaranteed fix.
Let me guess. A new water heater.
Right, but...
That's what worries me.
Well, worry no more.
Why?
What you need is an Apollo Plumbing water heater.
Because?
We include Wrenchy's worry-free warranty.
Wrenchy's what?
Worry-free warranty.
Which means?
When it wears out, we replace it.
No extra charge.
As an A-List Club member, you're covered for life.
For life?
For as long as you're an A-List member, you get annual life-extending water heater flushes included.
So it lasts longer.
Right.
And when it needs replacement,
you're covered.
With no worries.
Because it's Wrenchy's
worry-free warranty.
What else would you expect from the Ready Right Now plumbers?
Apollo Plumbing.
Home of Wrenchy's worry-free warranty.
What about tankless ones?
Worry-free too.
Gotta love that Wrenchy.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Retirement used to feel like something way off in the distance, and suddenly it's not. And like so many of you, I want to make sure the money I've spent a lifetime saving will actually last. That's why I work with Trajan Wealth. Ursula Roytine here. My husband and I recently sat down with Marty, and she took the time to understand our goals, our financial situation, and what we want the next chapter to look like. And because Trajan Wealth advisors are fiduciaries, they're required to put your interests first. The plan she came up with isn't shaped by commissions or products. It's shaped around our lives. Trajan is veteran-owned, and they specialize in helping people with $500,000 or more in savings build a smart, long-term strategy. So if you're starting to think seriously about your retirement, start with a team I trust. Call Trajan Wealth at 206-656-3300 or visit TrajanWealth.com.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC. SEC registered investment advisor. Client paid advertisement. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
CVS Health supports people in the moments that matter, from picking up a prescription to connecting care. With nearly 5 million daily interactions and serving 185 million consumers and 1.5 million healthcare professionals, CVS Health holds a trusted place in healthcare. By simplifying care and improving health, we're helping people get the care they need. Learn more at cvshealth.com/Investor Day. This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Underestimating the trucking industry is one of the biggest mistakes I see victims and other lawyers make. Trucking companies have an army of lawyers and experts who act quickly after an accident to protect the company. Only an experienced trucking accident lawyer can navigate the complicated federal and state laws to protect your rights. If you or a loved one has been injured in a trucking accident, call Davis Law Group today for a free consultation or get my free book on trucking accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
The John Curley Show mailbag is brought to you by Pendergast Law.
Oh, boy. Okay, much time. Hudson, just a very short There we go. Thank you. We're getting letter of the day. First, take care of all the rest. Here we go. Joe.
Dennis in Seattle says, hey, guys, it's Tuesday. Let's talk about that guy from Idaho again. That was fun. It's fun.
It's fun, yes. Sully in the I-90 train says, Ellie in Seattle says, on a rare occasion, I use light rail. I always pay, and I never drive in the express lane HOV unless I'm on a motorcycle. I hardly ever throw bags of pee at trains. Oh, well, aren't you special, Ellie?
It's fun.
Yeah.
Old Man John says the idea will look great in a documentary about disasters in Seattle. The giant wave wiping the train right off the tracks will make great footage.
Yes, Rachel C. says, yes, it's a great segment. That's a great segment, whatever that one was.
Let me see. Steve in the 425 says, now that Charlie Brown's Christmas has been bought up by all the other networks, we can't watch them on local TV stations. You have to get Paramount Plus or some other pay app for watching.
Uh-oh, Jim Walsh. Somebody's talking about Jim Walsh. Ivan in Edmonds says the bums should go camp in the politician's neighborhood and see how that goes. Maybe they will change their minds when they watch the guy poop in their yard.
Nathan in Bellevue says, I bleep and love the Jim Walsh anthem. Please don't read that on the air.
Okay, sorry about missed that one. More on Christmas. Paul in Linwood says, if I say Merry Christmas, I don't want to hear Happy Holidays. That's Paul in Linwood, everybody, so just be aware of that.
206 says, tampering with Suncadia Christmas lights sounds like a hate crime, theft, vandalism, malicious mischief with an undertone of anti-Christianity.
206 regarding Suncadia, they got so many rules and regulations in there, you literally cannot even have a wind chime.
And now it is time for the letter of the day.
Come to South Cleellum.
Yeah,
we'll show you a good time.
Paul in Sammamish back with the letter of the day. He says, I can put up with John's OCD, and I'll give him a pass on his ADHD, but where I draw the line is his obsession with men's underpants. Also, a little-known fun fact about John is that he holds a black belt in bullshido. The more you know.
Thank you, Paul.
Nice. That's all she wrote.
We got through most of them.
Yeah.
Ripped right through them there. Missed a whole bunch. I know. Sorry about that.
Come on.
All right. Oh, CBS Evening News has got a new anchor, but apparently he's just white and straight.
Boring.
Come on now. Speaking of white and straight, here's Sully with traffic.
Oh, wow. Where do I go with that? Right to the traffic, kid. We're looking at still major problems trying to get across the Hood Canal Bridge. 5-mile backups on northbound 3 and eastbound 104 as we're trying to get through the one lane of alternating traffic across the Hood Canal Bridge. They're still trying to get rid of a dump truck that was involved in a crash on the west end of the bridge earlier today. So big time delays there. The rest of the map trying to get better. Back to about an hour from Bellevue to Everett and Seattle into Everett. Really heavy still past 526, the Boeing Freeway, working your way up to Highway 2. Speaking of 2, eastbound across the trestle, continue to struggle in the right lane. It is blocked as you get over to the EB Slough. That's on the far east end of the trestle. A lot of debris under there. That water is moving really quickly, and they're trying to protect the underside of the trestle. Looking at the Lake Bridges, 30 minutes on 520 and only 22 on I-90, plus no toll, so not bad there. Bellevue to Renton, 35 minutes. Renton to Puyallup, about 50. Seattle to Federal Way, about 45. And we are seeing brake lights now down the Fife Hill. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Thank you, Sully. If, let's see. If you want to live a longer life, you'd like to have more years to enjoy that life of yours, what are you willing to commit to it? How about, let's say, 5 hours a year? Here's how that works out. You will get a blood draw at Longevity Medical Clinic, and about 3 weeks later, you will have a chance to talk to your doctor for about an hour. So I'm going to include all that in there. We'll do 4 or 5 a year. And then when you talk to your doctor, they're going to be looking at a very extensive test, and it's going to have about 55 indicators of how you're aging. You'll be on the phone, ask as many questions as you'd like, or maybe in person with your doctor at Longevity Medical Clinic. So you invest about 5 hours a year of your time, and you know what they give you in return? A longer life. That's good ROI, as they say in the business, return on investment, right? And it all starts with you making a little bit more of an investment of your time. Take the free health analysis at longevitymedicalclinic.com. That's longevitymedicalclinic.com.
KIRO News Radio's Manda Factor.
Growing up in this area, I've heard about Holiday Magic for 37 years. They've been doing this, and I, for the first time, get to be a part of it. I am so excited. Join us tomorrow, all day long, for the 37th annual Holiday Magic benefiting Treehouse, helping to brighten the holidays for the more than 6,000 youth in foster care this holiday season. You can donate right now. Text MAGIC to 888-973-5476 or visit mynorthwest.com/holidaymagic.
Yep, it's raining out there. Integrity Roofing and Construction is your trusted local roofing team. Integrity offers free estimates, and their customer satisfaction speaks for itself. They'll keep your home leak-free and protected from the northwest rains. Visit integrityrc.com to schedule a roof assessment or video inspection today. With years of experience in roofing and restoration, their skilled team can help with a simple roof repair or a full renovation. Don't wait until the next storm hits. Schedule your free estimate today. Visit integrityrc.com. That's integrityrc.com.
I love the fact that Mike Novak sells more homes than anybody else. This guy works so hard. You know what's happening? People are selling their homes again. And if you don't have Mike Novak's name on that sign, well, you're wasting your time and your house is just going to be sitting on the market. Mike is so confident that he can sell your house quickly. And for more, you'll pay no commission if Mike Novak doesn't sell that home in 21 days. So go to meetthenovaks.com. I'll spell Novaks for you. Novaks. Meetthenovaks.com.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Ulta Beauty's big holiday beauty sale is back with up to 50% off must-have gifts. Shop irresistible deals like the Shark Beauty Flex Style and Benefit Cosmetics travel-size mascaras. With new offers weekly, same-day pickup or delivery, and our trusted associates, we make holiday shopping effortless. Head into Ulta Beauty today. Ulta Beauty. Gifting happens here.
She and Ursula, weekdays from 9 to noon on KIRO News Radio. Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM and HD.